Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids, and the video you're watching now is being recorded with the Sony Cyber-shot HX50 or HX50V if you're outside the UK and happen to have the model with GPS built in. Now you will have seen me unbox this on the channel about a week or so ago, and in this video I just want to talk to you about how it's been performing video wise and also a little look at some of the photos I've been taking. I'll be putting a link in the video description to my Flickr account where you can see some really great photos that this little camera is capable of. Now the first thing I want to talk to you about is that I'm sitting in a studio situation, so you're seeing indoor footage, no studio lighting on at all, it's just natural light, and the camera's sitting on a tripod probably round about 2 feet away from me, and I'm actually controlling it with my iPhone. I'm going to show you this now. This is the iPhone with the Playmemories app, and not only can you take photos with this application, but you can also stop and start video recording. So I can hit stop now, and then by hitting that record button again, I can start recording video again. Very, very cool. Let me just give you a closer look at the application. And you can see I've got stop and start record. I can also switch to the photo mode as well, and then I can actually initiate sort of photo taking as well. So I can capture remote photos. And I did actually post one of the photos that I took using this app on Instagram, which is just a really cool feature. Now there are apps that do this for other cameras as well, but not a lot of them allow you to monitor and actually stop and start recording. And what I'm finding with this app is there's practically no delay as well. A little tiny bit of delay sometimes when you get a bit too far away from the camera, but the actual sort of feedback and what I'm seeing here, like the live view mode, is very impressive indeed. One of the things that I didn't like was the fact that I can set the Sony HX50V to perhaps program mode, and I can set maybe the white balance, or I could set maybe the exposure compensation dial up a little bit to make the video a bit more brighter, and then when you actually start recording the video it loses all of those settings for some reason. So there are certain settings that do stay, but if you're in another mode other than video mode, any settings you have set seem to be overridden, even the white balance. Apart from when you're in dedicated video mode, if you make settings within that, they seem to stick. But there's just something about making the or stopping and starting the recording with the app that makes the HX50 or HX50V sort of forget the settings. It was probably intentional on Sony's part, but a little bit disappointing with that. So what I'm going to do now is just pause the video, and I'm going to put my studio lights on so you can see how it performs with a little bit better lighting. Okay, so what I've done now is I've put a couple of studio lights on, so much better lighting inside the studio. And I'm not recording with that remote app anymore. I've purely hit record on the back of the camera. I've actually set it into program mode as well and done a sort of custom white balance setting. But it still seems that when I push that record button, it just goes back into auto mode. So the actual manual video settings on the Cyber-shot HX50 aren't that great. But other than that, the actual video, which is 1920 by 1080 up to 60 frames per second, seems very, very good indeed. I'm very pleased with how that sort of aspect of it has been performing, the actual clarity and the actual definition in the video. Very, very good indeed. And that's in part to the really good lens as well. Now I want to show you how the autofocus actually behaves. You can do tracking focus as well, so you can set it onto a subject and then it will track that around. But for now I've just left that turned off, and I just want to bring this closer to the lens. This is Penny, by the way. Say hello, Penny. I absolutely love Big Bang Theory, and this is one of my bobbleheads. So this is Penny. She's got a couple of little additions on the front there just to keep her sort of covered up. But this is Penny from Big Bang Theory. I'm going to bring this really close. I don't even know how this is focusing because I can't see the screen. There's no tilting screen on the HX50. So I'm just trusting that this is focusing. I'll actually bring it up into view so you can see the little Big Bang Theory logo. And I'll bring that really close to the lens so I can't even see if this is focusing. So you're going to have to let me know in the comments how this is actually autofocusing if you think it's doing a good job. Certainly when I'm behind the camera, I've found that it does an extremely good job of autofocusing. Very smooth transition between out of focus and in focus. Also the audio seems to be pretty good as well. It's stereo microphones on the top of the camera, and you can adjust the sensitivity. You haven't got levels that you can adjust as such. It's just something like a low, medium and high, or normal and high, something like that. You can't go up in sort of steps 1 through 10, that's not available, but at least you have got some sort of sensitivity on the microphones. There's also a wind noise filter as well on the mics, and there's also of course optical image stabilization on here as well, which is really rather good. I've been testing that outside as well to see how the image stabilization works, and does a brilliant job. In fact, what I'm going to be doing, let me just pop a penny down here, what I'm going to be doing in the future with some of these camera tests is I'm planning on getting in some of the other Sony Cyber-shot cameras sort of lower down the range. This is certainly top of the range in the Cyber-shot series. I'm going to be looking at the WX300, possibly the WX200, and really see if there is a difference in the video quality. There are differences in features, in actual number of pixels on the sensor, but is there really a discernible difference between the high-end models and the lower-end models? Can you save some money by possibly not spending and getting the top of the range all the time? So just to conclude, this is the Sony Cyber-shot HX50 or HX50V. The difference between the two models is the V has got GPS built in. The model I'm using is in the UK and it hasn't got GPS built in. And I'm just really pleased with how it sort of feels in the hand, how it's been performing. Leave me some comments to let me know what you think about the video quality and the audio quality. And I will leave you with a look at some outdoor footage as well. When you get right to the end of the video, please do hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Time to shoot some hoops.